You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast network.
You're listening to DolphinsTalk.com daily, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet. Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. What do you say, Miami?
Welcome to the DolphinsTalk.com post-game wrap-up show. I am your host, Tom Ernest. With me is Mike Oliva. I'm making do on my promise, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know if you can wear that for the whole show, but
with my face, people won't miss it. Don't worry.
All right, so tough loss today. Sunday morning out there in London. First off, big shout out to everyone watching and listening at finheaven.com. The largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet. Also, big shout out to our sponsor, BetUS. Everyone go to betus.com, use the promo code Dolphins Talk, get 125% sign-on bonus. If you're watching on the Dolphins Talk YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. And also a big shout out to everyone on the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook group. So Dolphins lost 23-20 in London. As bad a game as it could have been. And it's bad on a lot of levels. There was no Xavier Howard, no Byron Jones, no Preston Williams, no Devontae Parker. And even with all those guys out, the Dolphins still should have won this game. Dolphins offense could not convert and could not put up enough touchdowns against arguably the worst defense in the NFL. I don't think it's arguable. They are the worst defense in the NFL. Miami Dolphins came down first drive of the game, touchdown, looked awesome. After that, the offense, they got yards, but they got one other touchdown drive. It was just not pretty for this offense. And it's the same issues that we talk about, that we have spoken about each week here. Offensive line, specifically Austin Jackson, was not good. The play calling was not good. Must be getting a little hot under that back, I'm sure. The offensive line was not good. The play calling was not good. Tua had his moments. I know if you go by just the stats, you'll get a great day. And he was good, but he also he left a lot of plays on the field, missed a few plays. And as I always say, and I'm not pinning this loss on Tua, so nobody would take this out of context. I'm not. But there is a but here. When you're picked number 5 in the draft, when you are picked the top of round 1, you have expectations on you that your normal run-of-the-mill quarterback doesn't. And they're in the course of a season, that was 17-game season, there are going to be weeks where you need your starting quarterback to carry you to a win. Put the team on his back and carry him to a win. Now, they came into this game 1-4 against a terrible defense, and the offense didn't score enough points. They didn't have enough. They couldn't convert enough touchdowns. That first half, Miami was up 13-3 before Jacksonville scored late, and we're sitting there, and I know I wasn't the only fan to feel this way. Everyone was like, Miami should be winning this game by 3 touchdowns. How is this game so close? And then Jacksonville scores right before the half, and you're like, why are we in a dogfight? How are we in a dogfight against this team? Because the offense didn't score enough. And yes, you can point to wide receivers being out. You can point to the bad play call. You can point to bad offensive line. At the end of the day, you need your quarterback sometimes to make a play, to just carry the team to a win and just be extraordinary. Tua's good. He's good most of the games he plays in. He's never extraordinary. And that's where, once again, more of the frustration comes from. And yes, we're going to talk about stuff like who needs to go. It has sort of clock sort of struck midnight for Greer and Flores and all that stuff? And I think we all know the answer is probably yes. But at the end of the day, just for this game and this week, it would have been great just to see Tua. And I know he had a good game. I'm not saying he didn't have a good game, but just sort of drag this team to a win and sort of plant his flag is I'm the franchise quarterback. And even when things aren't going perfect and everything's not perfect around me, I'm still good enough to bring this team a victory. It didn't happen.
No, but at the same tenure with what you said, the Miami Dolphins coach and coaching staff,
it stinks. I get it.
Put the ball in Malcolm Brown's hand and not the quarterback, and that's mistake.
Yeah, but you know what,
one.
Tom? That's a bullcrap excuse too, because he's a starting quarterback. If you see that and you go, "What's this play?" Audible out and make a play. You know what? He's the 5th pick of the draft, first round superstar quarterback. Everything audible out, make a play. I'm sick of everyone making excuses for this kid and passing the buck when stuff don't go right. He's the starting quarterback. If that play comes in with Marino or someone else, they would look at the coach. Okay, buddy, audibled out and made a play. Tua has that power. And I'm sick of everyone bending over backwards, making excuses for this guy. It's not his fault we lost. I get it. But, man, you know what? Do something. Be a starting quarterback in this league. And that's what he's not yet.
So on 4th and inches, on how many occasions this season do they put Jacoby Brissett in to run a quarterback sneak?
Well, I'm against that too, but I don't know.
Okay. You might be against it, but they do it. And it has worked a few times. But you put the ball in shotgun, and it's a read option. Your tight end gets blown off the play. Durham Smythe gets completely obliterated off the snap. Tua was going to keep it, but he had to give it to Brown, and then Brown just gets hit in the backfield. It's constantly, it's the play calling, it's the execution. Was Tua good today? I thought he was good. There was mistakes on the field, like you said. He'd left plays on the field. There was mistakes made. You can't pin it all on him, but I agree.
Nobody's pinning it all on him, but he's part of the problem. That's the reason.
Listen, I agree with you that you can't pin the game on him, but at the same time, he's got to take the accountability. He left points on the field. They couldn't finish drives. Some of his throws were off, and the running backs, the wide receivers, as a whole, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And the fact that you have glass Preston Williams, glass, made of glass, Devontae Parker, Will Fuller's on IR, and you're running out there with the same damn group almost that you did last year is inexcusable, and that starts right there, right at the top, and goes all the way down. They're not doing number one any favors. He's also not doing himself any favors because of the mistakes he made. Period. End of story. But this team is not good, and they aren't going to be good for the rest of the season. This season is done. You lose to Jacksonville, you're done. And there's no other way around it. This season is over. Over.
Yeah, I mean, it was really over when they lost to the Colts. I think it took some fans until today to realize it was over. But after the Colts lost, this season was over because the AFC is just way, way too strong. You look around the AFC, the AFC is no joke. The AFC is loaded. Right now, you can sort of pencil in 6 to 7 playoff spots. So pretty much after the Colts loss, Miami's fighting for one spot. After today, they're not even fighting for that. And, you know, I know we don't own our first-round pick. That goes to the Eagles. Kudos to them. They made a great They made a great trade. Chris Greer screwed this up, is what it is. And right now, as a fan of the Dolphins, you have to root against San Francisco each week. I think they're off this week. They're not playing. But each week, and I know fans say, well, we screw up, the picks anyways. That's not the point. The point is, A, hopefully someone else will be making those picks next year. And B, I'd rather pick higher than lower. So you got to root for San Francisco to lose no matter who's making the pick, just because for the best interest of this team moving forward, there's going to be a lot of changes. I think there's possibly going to be some changes this week. I think there's a chance. But end of the day, this is a bad football team. And it's bad in a lot of ways. It's bad with the front office. It's bad with the staff. You cannot fire assistant coaches year after year after year and expect you go into every season having half the team, your offense, having to learn a new system, having to learn new plays. It's always day one. I've said it the past handful of weeks. We are a glorified expansion team because each year there's no continuity. We have a bunch of young kids. We have a bunch of, young new players who are, year 1, year 2 players. And we have a new staff, and every year it's like starting over and over again. And there comes a point where there's no one left to fire. You can't go through 4 offensive line coaches in 26 months. You can't go through an offensive coordinator every year. At a certain point, it's on you. And our head coach has had full power of the staff. It's on him. So there's that. And then it comes down to some of these players. Some of these players just aren't very good. And in the first half, in this game, there's a lot of blame to go around, especially on the defense. And I know Howard and Jones weren't there. I get it. But that doesn't mean, other players get paychecks too every 2 weeks or each week in the NFL, I should say. So these other players just didn't play well. And some of these guys have to start being held accountable. And I don't know, is what it is. It's going to be a long next, November, December, January, about 2.5 months or so. It's going to be long. It's going to be real long. It's going to be a lot more Sundays like this. I don't know. I just think it's unfortunate because heading into the season, there were high hopes for this team that, at worst make the playoffs. Nobody really thought they'd win the AFC. So everyone knew the Bills were ahead of us. At worst, make the playoffs. But now as we sit on October 17th, the playoffs are not happening. And it comes down to the future of this franchise where all strong franchises, all the good ones, are strong at general manager, head coach, and quarterback. The Miami Dolphins have questioned it at all 3. They just do. They have questions at all 3. Your general manager, I don't know how he survives this. If he is employed by Wednesday, I have no clue how that happens. Austin Jackson was terrible in the first half today. Igbenogany, he actually played. And it's tough to get on Noah because he's played so little, but he didn't play well today. Those 2 picks are a miss. And then you factor in Tua, again, not his fault for loss, but has he played like the 5th overall pick of the draft? I'm not even talking Herbert. No, he hasn't played the 5th overall pick. And he's always hurt. So you got to factor that in. So those 3 picks in round 1 of 2020, that'll get most general managers fired. It will get this one fired. Comes to the head coach. I usually don't like firing a coach in season. And for this team this year, I don't think it makes any sense. The only way it makes sense, I know Tom doesn't agree, that's fine. But in the NFL world, there's one head coaching candidate that's going to have 3 to 5 teams knocking down his door all year. There's already teams thinking about it. Doug Peterson is going to be a hot commodity this year. Really hot, red hot. He's already got teams, Jacksonville with Lawrence, because they know their head coach is going to be done after this year one way or another. There's going to be a lot of teams fighting over him. Miami's got ties with Marino. Obviously played here with Dan. I'm not sure if we're in an attractive spot, though. I know there's a lot of money under the cap, and they got some picks, but I don't really know if we're in an attractive spot compared to some other spots. If you want to fire Flores in season at some point, if not this week, maybe in the upcoming weeks, the only reason you make that move is to get a jump on someone like Peterson, because then you can start your hiring now, and you don't have to wait till after the year when some other teams might already be in on him. So that's the thing to watch here with Flores. If they think they have a shot at Peterson, because I know I saw some people talking about Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher's 64 years old, hasn't coached in close to 30 years. Bill Cowher ain't coming back to take over this train wreck. It ain't happening. Because this is a big undertaking, this job right now. Now, they got money and picks, but it ain't like you're walking into a solid franchise with a solid quarterback spot. It's just not. So I don't know, but that's something to keep an eye on. But, heads are going to roll. I expect a player, after the loss to the Colts, we got rid of Grant. I expect another player or two this week to be shown the door one way or another, just be caught or be traded. Heads are going to roll. When you lose in this league, there are consequences. And this week, there will be more consequences. I don't know who or how many, but there will be consequences for this loss.
Yep. And we'll figure it out as we go throughout the week. I think you hit the nail on the head. Everything's going to really happen in the offseason. I don't think firing Flores right now, unless they get their doors blown off again in Buffalo on Halloween, which is a likely scenario, that would be the moment that you say this isn't working anymore. And
well, it only depends if there's someone out there that they want. And maybe it's not Peterson. There might be someone else out there that they want. If there's someone out there who does not have a job right now that they want to get in on first, that's why you make a move and see. It has nothing to do with the game. The games this year become irrelevant now. They're irrelevant. The only reason you make a move is to get it jump on somebody. Say you want to hire a general manager who might be out of work. Say you want to hire a president who's out of work. You want to get in on somebody now and not have to wait. That's the only reason. Now, they're obviously not going to hire Peterson now in season. That's not going to happen. But you want to be the first to talk to him, the first to make your pitch, and be in on him first and not have to wait till 5 other teams are in on him.
Yeah, Mike, I'll say this. I want them to hire a solid general manager right up front, and I want that solid general manager to make the decision on the head coach. We can't have the owner making the decision unless you're putting that coach in power of the team. And we know how that goes. We know what happens when you give roster control to a head coach. It just doesn't work. We need to have a GM in place, let that GM make the interview, have all the interviews, and then make the best decision for the team going forward. And like you said, yes, the team does have picks, unfortunately not their own first this year. They have 2 picks in 2023, but you whiff on the picks anyways. What the hell's the difference? So there's a lot that has to happen in this franchise, and it's unfortunate because I think there's a lot of good players on this football team, and they are just not getting put into position. And it's amazing to me when we look back at it. In 2008, Sperano 11-5, we had high hopes. It was done. The following season, you go to 2016, Adam Gase's first year, the team goes 10-6, makes the playoffs. Same thing. They fall apart. Now with Brian Flores in his second year getting 10 wins, this team is a shell of what they were last year, especially on defense. You got a glimpse of the defense being aggressive, but again, it's against Jacksonville here. And they were making some plays towards the end of the game, and it was just mistake after mistake by Brian Flores and the coaching staff. And, you're not helping your team. You're not putting your team in position to win the football game. And, it's the same song and dance. I'm going to have to look at the film. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay. Okay, great. Look at it. But guess what? Nothing has changed. You've had 4 weeks. Now it's going to be 5 to try to sort out the problem. It's time to look in the mirror. It's time to self-reflect and say,
it's going to happen.
It's me. But like you said, it's not going to happen.
He's too stubborn, which is the problem with every assistant who comes from New England. I thought he was different, Flores, year 1 and 2.
I thought so,
he even showed me he was different.
Year
3, he fell right into the Bill Belichick mold. It's my way or the highway, no flexibility, and he has screwed us over 100. I mean, he's no different than Josh McDaniels, Charlie Weiss, O'Brien, Romeo Crennel, all of them. The list. He's no different. And he is just not flexible at all on anything. And it shows when you watch these games. It's the game within the game. Anybody can watch the game and say, oh, so-and-so threw for 350, or oh, so-and-so's got a first down touch. If you watch the game within the game and look what's going on, it's a comedy of errors. It's a comedy of errors on every level. Even when stuff works, you say that worked. It could have been a lot more if we did it that way. I mean, it's just everything's wrong.
Yes, everything is ass backwards with this team. Everything in the fourth quarter screamed the Dolphins should have won that football game. As bad as they played, they had a chance to win that football game, and they couldn't get the job done. And, we can point to, not picking up a first down on 4th and short. We can point to the incomplete passes. We can point to the bad throws. We can point to the drops. I'm pointing to a stupid challenge on a drop pass by Myles Gaskin that was clearly incomplete, but who the hell's buzzing you saying, yeah, throw the flag, man, that's a catch. It wasn't a catch. The punt one, I get that was way too close.
That might mean points. So that one, I give
that one meant points. 100%. It was recovered for a touchdown.
But so that's fine. But you can't challenge the first one.
No,
because now because it's a low percentage that it'll be turned over, and it's so if you lose it, A, you're out of timeout, which you're probably going to need, and 2, and A and B, I should say, 2 A and B. Sound like Rocky. A and then 2, A and then B. It just leaves you with one challenge in a close game, which you're probably going to need because these referees screw stuff up all the time.
Yep. All right, let's go through this mitigated disaster known as a game. The Dolphins lost the toss. Jags deferred. The Dolphins get the ball first. 13 plays, 75-yard drive, took 7 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock, ending in a Jalen Waddle touchdown reception from Tua Tagovailoa. Mike, that was such a great scripted start to the game, and the Dolphins really put a drive together. And on that drive, there were three third down conversions from Tua, and two of those three on that drive, there were penalties prior to getting to that third down. So he was able to recover, and it was a great drive. And the Dolphins opened up scoring 7-0. And, the hope was there that with Tua back, this is going to be a different game.
The opening drive, whenever he plays Tua, is always pristine. It's always pristine because he has not just him, the whole offense and the staff have a week to prepare for one drive, and they always get it nail in the head. The problem is after that one drive. And again, we played Jacksonville, who's lost 20 in a row, whose owner is more concerned with pro wrestling than he is his football team, or the son of the owner has got some big title there. And you got a team that gives up more points each week than anybody in the league. And after that opening drive, we scored one touchdown. One! That's embarrassing, folks. And you can sit there and defend this one or defend that one. The offense as a whole failed. And that's where you need, once again, your quarterback to put the team on your back and say, we're playing a crappy team, guys. We got to score more than after the opening possession of the game.
Jaguars go 8 plays, 56 yards, 3:56 off the clock, ending in a 40-year-old field goal from Matthew Wright. Remember that name as we go through this game. The Dolphins get the ball. The next drive, 9 plays, 66 yards, 4 minutes, 34 seconds off the clock. Another strong drive from Tua and the offense, but stalls out. Why did it stall out, Mike? Well, let's see. First and goal from the 10, you get an offensive holding on Cethan Carter that actually ruined a 9-yard run that would have set the Dolphins up at the 1-yard line, and they had to settle for a field goal. So again, take the gun, shoot yourself in the foot. That was a touchdown drive waiting to happen, and it ends in a field goal. And I think you tweeted it, Mike. Remember this drive.
Yeah,
because this was the game. That was the game. You go up 14-0 on this team. We wouldn't be sitting here talking like this. I wouldn't be sitting here with this stupid paper bag that I promised everybody. And you're leaving points on the field. Then the teams exchange punts back and forth. Dolphins get the ball. They go 8 plays, 32 yards after a terrible punt from Jacksonville. Not a very good drive, but it did end with a Jason Sanders 24-yard field goal. Again, leaving points on the field. They couldn't cash in. You go up, at this point, could you have been up 17-0? Could you have gone up 21-0?
Should have been.
It's just amazing to me how this team year after year continues to find ways to put themselves in a hole. After the field goal, Dolphins and the Jaguars punt, Dolphins punt. Jaguars get the ball just before the end of the half and go 6 plays, 49 yards. That ends in a Marvin Jones touchdown reception from Trevor Lawrence. It was good coverage. I'm not going to lie. Noah just has to play the ball better. He just had to play the ball better. That was good coverage. It was just a better pitch and catch. That's all it was.
Overall, he stinks, but that was a good play by him, actually. So I can't get on him for that touchdown. He was with his man. So that was fine.
So Dolphins have a chance, and they get down just before halftime, get to the Jags 40-yard line, setting up a 58-yard field goal, which wasn't even close or in the vicinity, which tends to be the theme for the Dolphins season. Nothing in vicinity of what they want to have happen. But at halftime, it was 13-10 Miami. And Mike, we've reached halftime. Let's put some smiles on people's faces.
I don't know if I feel like doing this, but I guess I'll have to today. Do you know what's spookier than seeing a black cat on Halloween? It's shaving your balls with anything other than Manscaped. When it comes to below the waist grooming, there's no need to carve your pumpkins this Halloween because Manscaped is here to upgrade your grooming experience. Go from a bite-sized candy bar to a king-size candy bar and join 2 million men worldwide by going to manscaped.com using the promo code DolphinsTalk. Get free shipping and save 20% and get free shipping. Unlock your confidence with the Performance Package for Inside, you'll find the holy grail of men's grooming items. They've made it easy for you to upgrade your grooming routine. It's a full moon out, and the werewolf in your pants is howling. It's time to tackle that problem with the Lawnmower 4.0. Have you ever tried to trim your balls and it turned into a Freddy Krueger film? Well, luckily, Manscaped is here to save the day. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. They will make sure your pumpkins stay fresh. Trust me when I say this, fellas. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Dolphins Talk at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Say trick or treat to your beautiful new Halloweeny with Manscaped.
I love it.
Okay. Bet US, folks, for your sports gambling needs. And Tom, I didn't even tell you this yet. Did I have a weekend of all weekends gambling? I hit a 3-team parlay for a whopping $695. Then I did the same 3 teams, added a fourth on a separate parlay, made a cool $1,062 for a grand total of $1,757 with Michigan State -4, with Virginia -11, Colorado State -12, and what was the last one? Slipped my head. And it was the fourth game. I can't remember right now. I nailed them all. And for all your sports gambling needs, you go to BetUS. Use the promo code Dolphins Talk. Get 125% sign-on bonus. Sports betting seasons in full force with Major League Baseball, NHL, PGA, LPGA, UFC, boxing, college football, and yes, the NFL. You may already know this, but BetUS has been the pioneers in the sportsbook industry for almost 3 decades, thriving and paying their loyal customer base. That is BetUS.com, and they have loads of bonuses. Join now or call 800-69-BET-US. That's 800-MY-BET-US. You receive 125% sign-on bonus by using the promo code Dolphins Talk. They have re-up and refill bonuses also. BetUS is known as America's favorite sportsbook for a lot of reasons. Follow my lead. Get your phone, online, social sports betting partner with integrity, longevity, like I did. BetUS. You bet, you win, you get paid.
Good weekend. I went 2-1 yesterday. It wasn't terrible.
Well, it's funny because in our picks, I put the Wisconsin game versus Army, but in New York State, you cannot bet teams who play in the state of New York. So I couldn't bet Army. So I can never bet Army, Syracuse, or Buffalo, even if they're on the road. I cannot bet any of those games. So I couldn't bet the Army game, or else I might have lost. I might have thrown that one on there. But since I couldn't bet them, I found some other picks, and it actually worked out in my benefit. Hit a 3-teamer and a 4-teamer. Boom! Oh, Fresno State was the other team, -3.5.
That's a good weekend. At least that'll put a smile on your face. At least that puts a smile on your face. All right, let's get to the second half and get this thing over with. Jags open up the drive. The series, 5 plays, 75 yards, only took 2.5 minutes. Ends in a James Robinson 1-yard touchdown run. And Mike, you can't go a week without a long run given up by the defense. And this was set up on the 24-yard run, James Robinson run. And he capped off the drive. So now Jacksonville's up 17-13. Dolphins had a 9-play, 27-yard drive that failed, and they had to punt. Jacksonville gets the ball, goes 8 plays, 48 yards, and Trevor Lawrence is sacked by Christian Wilkins, and the Dolphins recover the football. And before we get to the next play, which we're going to talk about for a second, again, Christian Wilkins is making plays with this defense. He's looking like the part of a first-round pick. It's good to see him be more consistent than he has been his first 2 years in the league. But overall, that was a very good pass rush, and he hit his buddy Trevor Lawrence and caused the fumble.
Yeah, nice play there. Wilkins, it's going to be interesting what they do with him. First-round pick. He's been up and down. First few years, he played well. I mean, he's never been bad. That's the thing. He's never been bad. But for where he was picked in round 1, once again, you expect more. The higher you're picked, the more expectations are heaped on you. You expect more. This year, I think so far through 6 games, even though they haven't been good, I think he's had his best year to date. So that's promising. It's going to be interesting what they do with Wilkins, with the whole 5th-year option, stuff like that, which will be coming up soon. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting. Someone's looking at Tom Pelissero tweets. I want to.
Yeah, I'm checking it out right now. See if it's real.
I know. I got to see if it's real first. Sorry for those of you listening on like later Sunday night or Monday.
No, there's nothing. That's a fake Tom Pelissero tweet, buddy.
Okay, it's a fake. I didn't even see the fake one. So, all right. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to do with Wilkins, but overall, again on this defense, and it kind of goes fitting because Bobby McCain just had an interception of Pat Mahomes. So, this defense, I see people in the game going, "Why did it regress? Why is it regressing? Why is it regressing?" And all that stuff. The reason it's regressing is because, again, and I sound like a broken record, but I'm gonna keep. You cannot run off every veteran. Kyle Van Noy, and I know people on social media are giving me a hard time. Well, it's not like Van Noy and Shaq Lawson and Bobby McCain were all that great. No, they weren't. But here's the thing: they worked well with the young guys we had, and everyone raised their game a little bit. And as a unit, overall, everyone played better. When you remove 3 key veterans who bring leadership, everyone loves to talk about leadership and all that stuff. But then when you take those guys out and you put in 3 youngsters who are unproven, Javon Holland's going to be fine. He's still a rookie, making rookie mistakes. He's going through everything for the first time. Having Bobby McCain back there might be nice. Jason McCourty wasn't here last year. So the young guys that Bobby McCain was playing with, they're now have to learn to play with Jason McCourty. So he's a veteran, but it's always new. There's so much turnover. Yep. I know every team has a little turnover. There's so much turnover. There's never any continuity on either side of the ball. Kyle Van Noy, I know he had 2 great games last year. Outside of that, he was good, but not great. But it worked. That's the thing. It worked. Whatever the mix was, it worked. Shaq Lawson used to set the edge like nobody else. We don't have anybody who can set the edge on defense. Those things can't be replaced. That's why you're giving up these long runs every week. That's why on 3rd and 15, other teams will just convert easily because you don't. It's all first and second year guys or new players who aren't used to working. We had a good defense last year, and they screwed it up in the offseason. That's the only thing to explain. It's not about how good the players are that left. It worked when they were here.
True. So the next play, Tua throws in god-awful interception. Bad, just bad. Overall, just bad. There's no other way to say it. It was a bad throw.
And the sad part is he usually has one of these per game now. And that's, I know it's, once again, not the reason we lost. All quarterbacks throw picks. I get all that. Again, though, it's starting to become a trend. He had one against the Patriots. He had one last year, I believe, against the Chiefs or Cincinnati. Seems like one a game for him is one horrible throw a game that gets picked. You can't do that every week. You just can't. So,
if you take that out of the equation today, we wouldn't even say he played okay. We would say, hey, he had a very good game today. But the mistake was made. That's what it is. Jacksonville goes for it on 4th down from the Miami 9-yard line instead of kicking a field goal with the guy that won them the game. Decided to go for it, and the Dolphins made a big stop on James Robinson, and Tua proceeded to go 7 plays, 91 yards, one of the better drives of the season, capped off on a 2-yard touchdown pass from Tua Tagovailoa to Jalen Waddle. Teams exchanged punts, and then field goal tied the game late on a 54-yarder, I don't know what kind of sorcery or witchcraft that was used on that kick. That was 3 yards to the right of the post, and it snuck in. I couldn't believe it.
It's English air, as they say.
Yep. Dolphins, we know what happens next. Go for it on 4th and short. Don't get it, and Jacksonville makes them pay. They were playing prevent defense, thinking they were just going to do a heave-ho. They throw a quick slant, get down. In that situation, you shouldn't have touched them.
That was Brandon Jones, I think. Yeah,
shouldn't have touched him.
It's tough on that player because what are you taught to do? So, once again, should he have not taught him? Should he have not touched him? Yes, but as a player, that's what you're taught to do.
You do that every play. It's like
exactly,
this.
And it's not like that. It was over the middle. It's not. It's not like it was some. I don't know. I can't get on the kid for that. That's not why we lost this game. I'm not going to get on him for that.
All right, team stats. Dolphins had 23 first downs, Jacksonville 21. Miami was 9 for 17 on 3rd down. That's a huge improvement. Yeah. Jacksonville 3 for 12. Miami went 1 for 2 on 4th down. Jacksonville 2 for 3. Miami ran 68 plays to Jacksonville 62. Miami had 431 yards of offense, which is actually their number one output of the season. Jacksonville put up 396. Both teams had 11 drives. Both teams within 6.3 for Miami, 6.4 for Jacksonville. Tua with again a good game overall. 33 of 47, 329 yards, 7 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 95.1 quarterback rating. And then Jacoby Brissett was 1 for 1 on 25 yards. Now that was a good play call. Because everybody expected what you would expect in that situation. Trevor Lawrence, also a good game. I wasn't impressed, but there are throws that he made in that game today that makes you go, all right, this kid's going to have it. Obviously, being
talk about a guy who was hurt by a ton of drops. That's him.
That's him too. Yeah, he was 25 of 41 for 319, 1 touchdown, 7.8 yards per attempt, 93.4 quarterback rating. Dolphins held James Robinson and the Jags 84 yards rushing. So the game plan worked in that regards. They held James Robinson in check, but unfortunately the Dolphins only had 77 yards rushing for the game as well. Time of possession was very close. Penalties 7 for 55 for Miami, 8 of 54. What happened to the team that just didn't make penalties and shot themselves in the foot with penalties? The Dolphins they are the most penalized team in regards to yards in the NFL this season.
Too many young guys.
Think about
what happens. Too many young guys. That's why you do that.
Mike, who gets your game ball?
Here's who gets the game ball, and I want to talk about him for a bit. Waddle gets the game ball. Waddle, what do you have? Like 10 receptions, I think. What do Waddle have? 10 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't know who else you're going to give it to. So I'll give it to Waddle. Here's the deal. Waddle on the first series got 4 receptions. And he was making plays, scored the touchdown to cap it off. That means the rest of the game he only got 6. And they got to use this guy more. And I know other teams are going to focus on him more when there's no Parker Fuller. I get that. But Jacksonville has nobody on their roster who can come close to stopping this guy. And for the rest of the first half even, I don't think they went back to him once. I think he got the 6 receptions after halftime. Waddle needs to be integrated more into this offense. He's one of the few weapons we got who is just explosive. They got to give him the ball more. The first series is how he needs to be used. The problem is you have to use him in the next series, the series after that, the same way. Because he can be someone who can break open games for you, but he's got to have the ball. So Waddle, I thought, had a heck of a game. I thought it was his best game as a pro. He was terrible last week for Tampa Bay. I thought he was great this week. So I still have high hopes for Waddle. I think he's going to be a big-time player for us. But once again, our offensive staff is just bad. Yeah. And they got to find ways to use him more and put the ball in his hands more.
All right. I'm going to give it to Mike Gesicki. 8 catches, 115 yards, looking every bit like the tight end that he was last year after a very sluggish start to the season. He is climbing up that chart in regards of tight end yards, receptions. He is a big-time playmaker. He is that playmaker for Tua Tagovailoa in this offense. But again, get him involved early, get him involved often, and just use him all game. All right, let's get this thing wrapped up. Mike,
let me wrap up here with a speed round about 5 things out, and I'm going to go quick because I know you got to run. So here's what we're going to do. Number 1, Austin Jackson cannot start anymore. And I know the offensive line overall wasn't terrible, but the first couple plays of those penalties was brutally bad. Our punter, Michael Pilardi, he is someone who could take a hit. He has not been good this year. Flores never been a good in-game manager, and that showed. The Tua stuff I'm sure we'll talk about later this week. I'll save that for later this week. And plus I know nobody wants to hear it. Everyone is just, but he missed a couple throws in this game, and people are going to start seeing on social media. Merritt running down the field wide open, didn't even look at him. There's plays he left on the field that what I think will change a lot of people's opinions once they start to see it of how sort of well he played. Yep. Overall, 1-5. The season, is over, and now we just wait for this week to see the chips start to fall because it's going to happen, folks. This league. Nobody cares what you did last year. Nobody cares. It's all about what you do now. And right now, they are one of the 3 worst teams in the league. This is going to be a 3 to 6 win season for the Dolphins. I said it weeks ago. I stand by it. Probably closer to 3 to 4 wins. And there is going to be a mass shakeup in Miami, and it's just a matter of when it happens.
Yep, we'll see what happens. We'll have shows for you each and every day this week. Be sure to check out DolphinsTalk.com every single day. Be sure to follow our main account at Dolphins Talk on Twitter and mine at Dolphins Talk Tom. I'm going to wrap up the show the same way I started it. Folks, the Dolphins lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-20, and there's nothing else to say. But we're going to have shows each and every day this week to get you primed up for the Atlanta game.
Congrats to our fans in the UK. Our fans in the UK showed up today. I'm sorry. I apologize about the team. Everyone, thanks for listening. I guess we'll talk to you again after a while.